The package sucks, no fucking question about it. It's terrible. All I can do is bitch about it and fall on deaf ears, and we'll come back with the same thing in the fall. Quickly, I just want to say sorry about the audio. I just recorded and I forgot to press the record on the mic. I clapped and everything, but I had to do I'm sorry. So the audio is going to be a little bit off. Okay, enjoy the video. And that's how I start my race review. How's it going, guys? It's been a decent day. Let's talk about Dover. We're going to talk about everything that happened after Dover later on, and probably in a separate video, to be fair. It's going to take a while to destruct all that stuff. This is a race review. We're going to talk about the race, so let's talk about it. It happened on a Monday, of course. That's why you're watching it now. Monday race. The track was very green, but the weather was fine, so that's good. Chase Elliott started on pole and looked like he had a really good car. All the Hendrick cars looked actually fairly decent towards the end of the race. All 10 of them, or all 10 of them, there's not 10 Hendrick cars. All 4 of them were in the top 10 at one point, and they all ran fairly well, especially there's one man that you gotta give credit to that I don't give, I don't mention a lot because I think he's been rather disappointing since he's been in the car. But Alex Bowman, hey, did very well. We'll talk about where he finished as well. And we'll talk about a lot of drivers once we get to the results and where they finish. But let's quickly go over the summary of the race. There's not a lot to cover over. I don't feel like a lot really happened. Most of the stuff that was happening was either mid-pack or around 10th. What was going on in the lead was very, very noticeable and very self-explanatory, to say the least. I don't know, the racing was very simplistic. Restarts, you wanted to be on the outside lane. If you weren't on the outside lane, that wasn't the place to be, just with how the air was working, how the drivers were able to pinch each other down. You just really wanted to be on the outside lane and carry the momentum. Elliott was trying to defend from Larson most of the first stage. The way the caution fell towards the end of the first stage, I think it was a Ricky Stenhouse Jr. incident, maybe a flat right front tire, allowed Joey Logano and William Byron to take 2 right side tires. They get those tires, they gain that track position. Joey Logano ends up winning the stage, but then they have to pit at the end of the stage, and it kind of throws everything a little bit off. Brad Keselowski gets into the lead, but then Chase Elliott, through green flag pit stops, is able to take over from him, and he takes over the lead again. And I think the end of stage 2 is probably the best point of the race. This is when Chase Elliott's car fades, and he falls back to, I think, 4th place. Truex is coming up there. He's in 3rd at the moment. Bowman is up there as well, and Kevin Harvick as well. So Alex Bowman's actually the one to take over the lead from Chase Elliott. And then you have Harvick running him down, and then these 3 guys kind of come together at the end of the stage. Coming to the final lap, Alex Bowman trying to hold off Truex, kind of overdrives turn 1. Truex gets underneath him. But this was the best part of the race in terms of the racing, mainly because it was also racing for the lead. But you saw when the tires wear down, the drivers had to pick different lanes because the track was rubbered in, and they just kind of tried to race. And it was nice to see that. They obviously couldn't follow each other. That was very clear. If you wanted to make a pass, Truex could not follow Bowman, and Harvick could not follow either of them. They all had to run their own lines. We'll talk about that later. Final stage is really, I don't know how to explain it. It just played out naturally. I mean, Truex was in the lead. He had the track position. Elliott, for those Elliott fans, if you're wondering what happened to him, nothing really ever happened to him. It just, he ran 4th and 5th the entire time. The top 5 were just not going to move. It's dirty air. It's not even dirty air technically. It is dirty air. It's just track position. You can't really get out there unless you have an incredibly dominant car, which I don't think anyone had today. I don't think there was a standout dominant car. Yes, Chase Elliott led a lot of laps. Yes, Truex led a lot of laps. Keselowski led some laps. Larson led some laps, but not a dominant car. Bowman led some laps. There just wasn't one car that really stood out there. And Truex would go on, and just green flag pit stops happen, and he, at the end of the race, I don't know what the gap was. Maybe it was like 9 seconds or something. I don't know, 14 seconds to 5th place. I don't know the gaps exactly, but it was a large gap, to say the least, from Truex to the rest of the field, and it kind of happened. Harvick had an interesting quote when he told MRN, and by the way, all the quotes that you'll see, you can see, I'll put the direct Twitter stuff, so you can go to the accounts that tweeted them if you want to follow them at all, especially Jeff Gluck. He's great. Harvick tells MRN, last run we got tight and it turned into a parade. No one was going anywhere. It seemed like they just accepted defeat. Martin Truex Jr. wins the race. So we go to the race results. Martin Truex Jr. is in 1st. Good win for him. That makes 7 out of the 11 races this season a JGR win. That's only been done 3 times in history, I think. So JGR having a very good season. Alex Bowman in 2nd place. I'm not going to just skip over him. he deserves a lot of credit. He ran a really good race, he got a really good car, and he brought the car home where it should have been. Was it a race-winning car? Probably not. But that's probably the best finish he could have gotten with it. And that's something that Alex Bowman needs to continue to do. And hopefully he can continue to do that in a Hendrick car if Hendrick gives him the equipment and he takes advantage of it. I have not been the biggest fan of Alex Bowman. I haven't been thinking that he can really do much in the 88 because he's never really showed me anything other than, Phoenix, winning poles and being fast there. But other than that, Alex Bowman's always been on the periphery of things. He's not really been doing anything in the 88. So nice to see this. This is a very, very good run for him. And hopefully, gets better. Wish him the best of luck. Kyle Larson must have took a vacation after Talladega. Probably went to the Bahamas, I think. He got a third-place finish. And he got rested up, got some energy in him. Some good apple juice. Apple juice always does wonders. Back with a third-place finish. No mistakes all day. Good job. Kevin Harvick gets a fourth-place finish. Still not technically what that team wants. They want to win and compete for wins. And yes, fourth place is very good. But for Kevin Harvick and 4-team standards, gotta win. Chase Elliott gets a fifth-place finish. Might be a little disappointed, but I don't think you could be too disappointed. Once he lost track position, he couldn't get it back. And really, no one could get it back. I mean, Truex was the only guy on the old tires to really kind of take over the lead, and then he won by 9 seconds. I don't know maybe if his car just became that good, but it's not Elliott's fault. Everyone else couldn't really go anywhere either. So, decent run. Actually, it's not even decent. It's a really good run for the 9 team. We have to remember that Hendrick Motorsports still is not back to what it was. So, a second and a fifth-place finish for Hendrick Motorsports is exceeding expectations right now and is very good. Eric Jones in 6th place. This guy is so incredibly quiet. I don't know if it's just me, or is he just really quiet? He just goes along with his business and just gets good finishes somehow. I mean, I don't see this man on social media anywhere. I don't see him in the racetrack anywhere. I don't see the cameras ever talking about him at all. He just runs well. It's kind of frustrating. He's basically Matt Kenseth 2.0. They took Matt Kenseth out of the 20 and put another Matt Kenseth in. Maybe even more Matt Kenseth than the original Matt Kenseth. That's how Matt Kenseth Eric Jones is. Joey Logano in 7th. Decent run. I mean, to be fair, don't really know what to say about him. William Byron in 8th. Good run for the Hendrick car. Again, 8th place is not what you want. You qualified 2nd. You kind of want to run better, where Alex Bowman ran. But for Hendrick, it's good. Clint Bowyer in 9th. Didn't really see him much of the race. Kyle Busch in 10th. We'll get to him later. Well, actually, we already had him in the intro. But yeah, Kyle Busch in 10th. He struggled most of the day. And, well, I love Kyle Busch. Daniel Suarez in 11th. Brad Keselowski, Kurt Busch, Jimmie Johnson, 14th. Ryan Blaney, 15th. And then the rest of the field. Eric Almirola, Paul Menard, Ryan Newman, Austin Dillon, Matt Benedetto, and Denny Hamlin to round it out. I think Denny Hamlin had some issues. Well, Denny Hamlin and Jimmie Johnson had a little bit of contact, actually. Almost turned Jimmy into the wall. But then I think Denny had some sort of flat tire. I don't know. I didn't really have commentary on because I was watching the race silently. I wasn't home, so I couldn't really watch the race with commentary on. So I was just going off visuals. So something happened to Denny Hamlin. Jimmie Johnson, he was fastest in practice, but I tweeted he'd probably run 20th. It was a joke. I was tweeting. I was hoping people would get that it was a joke, that he would run 20th, and I'd be sad. 14th is not much better than 20th, and where he ran. He ran like 12th to 10th. It's just, I don't know. Now it gets really worrying when you see Alex Bowman running pretty well at this track, and then you saw Chase running well, and when Jimmy's is the 4th best Hendrick car at Dover, we have problems. There's massive problems here that I don't know if they can get turned around. I'm starting to lose belief, and you can't blame me. It's been a few years, and I'm not seeing anything that makes me believe that Jimmie Johnson's going to come back to what Jimmie Johnson was. I don't know. I just don't see it. It's making me really sad. Anyways, the rest of the field, you can see that. Okay, was the race good? Depends on your expectations. This is what I said before. If you knew what you were getting at this race, I think it's a good race. It's a decent race. If you knew what you were getting. If you lowered your... It's like me watching an Arsenal game, okay? When I watch Arsenal, I know what I'm probably going to get. I know I'm probably going to be disappointed, and I'm probably going to be upset afterwards. So I lower my expectations, and then afterwards, even though I'm all, they probably somehow disappoint me more than they usually do, I'm not too disappointed, because I knew it was coming. The expectations thing. That's what Arsenal does to me. So if you knew at Dover we had this 6-inch spoiler, high downforce, package with high horsepower, which we did in 2015. We saw how poorly that went. And again, you're increasing corner speeds. Listen, all I gotta say here, there is no racing series in the world where increasing corner speeds has provided better racing. Now, if you don't know what the definition of better racing is, okay, let's throw away the term better racing. There's no racing series in the world with higher corner speeds that reduced dirty aero effects of the car. The faster you go in the corners, the more aero dependency you have. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not a fucking engineer. It's physics. The faster you go, the air, the turbulence, everything, you know how it works. If you go faster in the corners with the same car, it's not like the car is different. You're just making the car go faster. There's nothing about the Gen 6 car that is different from previous Gen 6 cars. You're just adjusting the splitter a little bit and the downforce, and you're going faster. You gotta know the dirty air is gonna be worse. So if you're a fan and you expected the dirty air to not be that bad, I mean, come on, it's right there in front of your face. And the drivers today finally got mad. They got mad. And it's because we all knew, again, this is why I was questioning at the beginning of the season. I was like, wait a minute, why are we doing this at short tracks with the high downforce package? I don't get it. Because now you're making aero even more dependent at the tracks that don't need it to be dependent. This Dover was not even close to being a short track today because of how fast the corner speeds were. Now I'm saying not every Dover race is great, but I remember a few Dover races in the last few years that have been better just because at least you can trail a car. Let's go to some of the quotes. All right, let's start with Matt DiBenedetto. We already got the Kyle Busch one out of the way, okay? So let's start with Matt DiBenedetto. I ran down the 6 and 3 by 4/10 a lap from almost half a track back, got to them, and was stuck for 20 laps. If you don't have the dominant race-winning car and can't move around the whole track to find clean air, it's very difficult. Self-explanatory, don't really gotta say much. I'm probably gonna have to make an entire other video sometime during the week if I have time to actually, really go in depth in this. Let's take a moment from the beginning of the race. If you were watching the race, there was a moment very early on. I'm just taking one little moment. There's plenty of moments within the race. If you have a DVR, you can go watch it back. Just watch how the cars, especially off exit. You can watch Truex and some guys really gain in the center, but off exit, you can see the dirty air effects at least 2 to 3 tenths off every car. But let's take Chase Elliott and Bubba Wallace. It was early in stage 1. Chase was just approaching lap traffic. He was stuck behind Bubba for 2 to 3 laps. Bubba was really slow. But because Chase was stuck behind him and he couldn't really get around him on the high side yet because the tires didn't wear enough, he lost his a second off his lead. Once he got around Bubba and then Larson got around Bubba, Chase pulled back away. If you can't see, if I'm a NASCAR executive and I see that, it's so blatantly obvious how the dirty air is affecting things. If you are NASCAR media, blindly defending the package with no proof of anything, you're just, I'm not even going to beat around the bush here. I'm not going to touch on this too much. Let's talk about Dave Moody. Dave Moody responded to that Kyle Busch tweet. I'll put it up on here. And he said, well, it's basically only because I didn't win. That's the reason why, Kyle Busch said those things. That is an ignorant tweet. It just is. It's ignorance. You have facts literally just right in your face. You can, if anyone who knows racing, drivers, fans, you can literally see the air affecting these drivers. It's not because Kyle Busch didn't win. I know this is an obvious point. I just don't like mentioning it because it's too obvious for some people. Kyle Busch won in 2007 in the COT. He still said the car sucked. He hated the car. It's not because he didn't win that he says he hates the package. He constantly bitches about the package, as he rightfully should, because the package is shit compared to the expectations of what we should have in this sport. You're just making the air worse. It's worse than last year, obviously, because the speeds are higher, okay? I'm not going to touch on it any more than that. I probably have to go into a whole nother video to really touch on it. It's just really, really frustrating. And by the way, Moody blocked me too because I just don't care. Try to be positive about it, just point out the tweet's very ignorant, and I get it. He's a positive guy, or, I guess, yeah, he works for NASCAR, he works for SiriusXM, he has his own show, gotta make a living, I get it. By the time we get a new package next year, he's just gonna say the last year one was bad, but he's not gonna say it now because we're in the present. But, last year, then it was bad, We have this new package, it's great. That's what they all say. It's getting really annoying at this time. Please, if you're NASCAR media, be realistic. Don't be fake with us. It's really frustrating. This is why I highly, highly respect people like Matt Weaver and especially Jeff Gluck. I mean, those guys are highly respectable because they speak the truth and they speak their opinions, and it's not misguided in any way. It's just the blatant truth of how they feel. If you like this package, fine. If you've always liked this package, please say it. But don't hop back and forth on the fence just because you're employed. It's getting really frustrating. Okay, I feel like I've ranted on enough. I don't know. How did you guys feel about the race? Oh my god. I really wish a lot of these times we didn't have to talk about the package. Trust me, it frustrates me. It's not going to change until 2021. I just don't know how it's possible how we've made this worse. But we have. As Kyle Busch said, hopefully, well, actually, he didn't have much hope. He basically said we're going to come back in the fall with the same thing. But, well, you can't change it. That's the problem. There's nothing to change. You have to wait till 2021. I'm sorry. There's nothing to change. Gen 7... Just gonna have to deal with it. Maybe next year they can go back to low downforce at short tracks. I don't know. But other than that, the car is the same. It's not gonna change. So whatever. If you guys like the race, let me know. If you guys didn't like the race, let me know. Comment down below. If you like the video, make sure you hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Follow me on Twitter if you're not already. I'm taking a break from Instagram, but if you want to follow me on there, go ahead. Just taking a break for now. I'm not gonna be on Instagram at all, but I'm still gonna be on Twitter. I know Twitter's even more toxic. I don't even know why I'm still on Twitter. But I need Twitter. It's my news. I get all my Arsenal sadness and memes from there. Oh my god, it's hard being an Arsenal fan. Congratulations to Man City on winning the title today. That was fantastic. Great goal by Vincent Kompany. If you guys didn't see that, I'm a NASCAR channel. What am I talking about? Congratulations to Martin Truex Jr. on winning the race. Hopefully people still remember that. The sun is, well, I don't know if Jesus is shining on me or what's going on, but I'm going to end the video there with that. I don't know what's going on. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.
Even if I tried, even if I wanted to, and I can't change. Even if I tried, my love, she keeps me warm.